And I'm glad that Mr. President is here today. I think it's one of those things that we need to look at because we are leaders in the built industry and we just need to take leadership in this. There was something that Mr. Obayiwana said, and it was very interesting because he talked about the walkway at the Millennium Dome. A lot of things we have in Nigeria can end up being tourist attractions. I remember talking to an American who was so excited for visiting Kenya. What did he enjoy about visiting Kenya? He said he went to visit the Maasai people and that they've got this very interesting tradition where they go to steal meat from lions. I actually went online and Googled it. What do? They would go at night once they know that a lion has done his kill. And they would have a shadow of a bigger lion over their heads. And as they approach the lion and the kill, the lion runs away. So they get there, the lion has killed the animal on their behalf, they carry the animal and go home. And he said he actually witnessed it. Something as simple as that drags in tourists in their droves to Kenya. We've got a lot of our own things. I mean, we don't need to just use them for Africa magic. There are other things that we can do. And it's important to note that this also is a question of leadership. What are our leaders doing in our foreign missions to ensure that all this is promoted? Because people do not know. People don't know we have Yankari Games Reserve, though I'm not sure what it's like now. I tried going to Budukatu Ranch many years ago. It took me 5 hours from Calabar, I think 6 hours. So there is a lot for government to do with regards to infrastructure. And, well, there was also the case of a change of mindset. What do we do to have a mindset change? I know most of us were around when Buhari came the first time. And honestly, we talk about stick and carrot. And I'm going to tie this to Mr. Boroni's question about the problem of the black man. I think we only understand the stick without the carrot. Because when Buhari came the first time, were we not queuing? We remember. You want to enter a bus, you queue. Because if you don't queue, a policeman is coming and is going to flog you. There was discipline. And while I am not one of those who believes in military rule, and please, this is my opinion, I hope nobody will pick me up after this. If that government had continued for 6-7 years, maybe we would have been more disciplined. I'm not sure about other sides. But we were going in the right direction. It means we are not animals in Nigeria. We can change. We actually can. The Honorable Minister talked about the family unit, where in some families they put food there and you just go and grab it free for all. In some families you wait, you pray, you wait for the head of the family to take his own food. There was one proverb that my father gave me way back. I thought it was true until I became an adult, where he said it's the water that elders used to wash hands that children used to drink in those days. You know, so some families are like that. But when there is law and order, clearly things would work. And I'm going to charge us as estate surveyors and valuers in particular.
At the back.
That even at our conferences, let us even learn to queue. The rush for bags, the rush to register. In front of a table, you'd have 30 people there. I mean, I'm a fellow of the institution. I had to stand back and look for somebody to help me go get my tag. It starts from us. And I'm actually looking forward to the dinner tomorrow. Because we have had some dinners where I would just sit down and say, you know what? Let me just swallow my spit. Because I don't want to go and struggle for food. So it starts from us here. So if we can start it here, and the same story is said in every association, I strongly believe that at the end of the day, our association, our institution will be better off, and our nation, Nigeria, will be better off as well. Thank you very much. There was one last one. I'm so sorry. Strong partnerships. I honestly, and I'm happy that our president is here, I believe this is something that within 1 year, this is my own charge today. I don't know if I have the right to do that. Within the last year of this presidency, there should be an MCPD on partnerships. And I'm talking about a strong one where people have had partnerships that have worked, will come to speak. Those that have not worked will come to speak as well. And we bring in resource people to talk to us. Because other professions or professionals are doing it and they're getting away with it. Lawyers have been very successful with it. So we definitely need to look at that because it is the major way that we can fight the foreign firms that are coming into Nigeria. They have the might. They have the people behind them. I bid for a job with one of them. And when they appeared with 3 partners, I knew these guys were strong. And these are the 3 in Nigeria. We are not talking of the ones in West Africa, in South Africa, and all that. So there are so many models. We have mergers, we have fresh partnerships. The question is, are we ready to do that? Or do we still have this mindset that to eat the small one is better than to come together and share a larger chunk? Thank you very much.
Please, can you give a round of applause? We've listened to the presenter, and I'm sure we are going home with a thought. One thing I want to suggest that as somebody asks an issue, I was talking to the presenter that the family should be the starting point. The family should be the starting point. Once you have a stabilized family, you can go on. As individuals, if your family is not stable, you can't be a good person. I think some elders have suggested the formation of a mortgage bank by our institution. The president should, or the management council should look at that direction. Funding is very important. You have a mortgage bank financed by the institution where everybody will make a contribution of shares. You have a pool of funds that we can then utilize. Also, somebody suggested setting up a business committee on this particular issue. At the MBA conferences, they do so. When they raise a topical issue, they set up a committee who will go in and study the issue and see what is happening. On partnership, I continue to align myself with the presenter. People should come to tell us why partnerships are failing, why we want to be small. Our project in Abuja will be easily developed because we have a pool of funds that we can use. Also, finally, that we should, yes, I've discussed that the committee should be set up for this particular issue and then give us a report. Thank you very much. And I thank you for your attention. And I hand over the mic to my president.
Thank you. Distinguished noble colleagues, we need to appreciate the chairman of the section once more. I have the pleasure and honor to bring to the mic the president of our great institution, in person of Estate Surveyor and Valuer, Sir Roland Abonta.
Thank you very much. The chairman of Estate Surveyors and Valuers Registration Board of Nigeria seated. Permit me to stand on established protocols here. I will sincerely want to join others who have appreciated our resource person for this morning. By the way, I must announce that he did this at the shortest notice. he wasn't really, you know, built or scheduled for this particular outing. But when there was a failure from the other side, we decided to approach him, and he has delivered perfectly, as he will always do. Can we appreciate him? Thank you, sir, for being with us. And I think maybe because there is a closer gathering, this particular session have thrown up a number of issues which I must identify with. But then one must also share his own views and comments concerning a number of things that has been said here. The one that looks uppermost in my mind is the issue of having mega practices or partnership, as have been asked by our young lady who spoke, and also anchored or re-echoed by quite a number of people who commented. The institution, I think I will take it from the question she answered. She asked, what is the institution doing about encouraging partnership and mega practices? I will want to say that as far back as 2010, 11, 12, when I was National Secretary and under the leadership of ESV Bode, actually starting from a Mekonora to ESV Bode Adedeji, we had retreats at Ada, and the center of that retreat was mega practices, and all manner of recommendations were made, and of course we went as far as even getting a template. And quickly, we went over to the board to remove one of the impediments. The board chairman here will remember. And that was granted. The board now said, okay, you can answer any name, so far as you have a number of partners. Has that helped matters? No. Have the partnerships that existed even before the retreats in Ada, have they survived? No. So many have gone down even after all the lectures by erudite lawyers on partnership. And so there is something about us as a professional body. And that is the fact that an average estate surveyor and valuer has this independent view of himself that we could survive. That there are so many small things you do. If only today you are able to sell one property, no matter the year you graduated, no matter your status, and then tons of millions of naira enters your hand. When they talk about partnership, you will be imagining, what are they talking about? Or you are under a firm, and suddenly, luck shined on your part, you were able to do a transaction for your oga, and some few millions came in. And suddenly you have a feeling that immediately I check out there, those millions will continue to roll. From experience, we have seen such people return back to the firm to say, Oga, is there anything for me to do? It's a constant occurrence. The younger ones are in a hurry to become what the Oga is. And Ogas are in a hurry to continue to be alone, so that they will not share risks and profits, more so on profit side. So, but I think it's a thing of the mind. We must get to a point where we will advise ourselves, particularly with the contending challenges and competitions we are seeing from the foreign firms. We must get to a point where we will advise ourselves that this single man business or single woman business is not helping us enough. I doff my cap for the partnerships that are surviving and that are still existing. And when I look at some of them way back in the universities, and they are surviving as much as they can today. So this one-man show must come to an end if we need to make progress. I lend my voice to that, and I say that the first hurdle have been lifted, and also there are opportunities. Of course, there is a template. I think I've seen one in the secretariat, and if you want to form partnership, only request and you will get it. But like the speaker today suggested, maybe we will have another retreat Maybe we'll have multiple MCPDs at zonal levels or regional levels for us to talk more about this and encourage our people. But no matter the volume of literature and no matter who presented it, as long as we want to be self-centered on how much money we take home, this matter of partnership may become a big challenge to us. But I want to say that it's doable, and that's the way to go, considering the way our economy is operating now. I've also listened to suggestions about floating a mortgage institution. Actually, the thinking of the current council is that we must blow up business opportunities for ourselves. But related to it is the mistrust that is with partnership. I hope we will trust ourselves to believe that when investment papers are prepared, thank God it's the investment committee chairman that made this presentation today. There are options he has already discussed with me and some leaders of our institution. Things we can do to begin to put our money together and do bigger investments. Thank God for some estate surveyors that have estate. So we must come together, and I'm going to depend on the investment committee to come up with those investment options and vehicles that will bring us together to reap common benefits or share our risks as investors. The mortgage institution thing might be one of such options that must come up. I'm happy that these are all coming up at this time. Having made a few of those comments, I would just want to talk about the other things stated here. Part of the challenge is what the minister told us yesterday. He said it in his own language, law and order. But I say it in the language that has become popular with us in the last 1 year. Zero tolerance for indiscipline. The biggest destructive element we have as a people, as a nation, and it's not only with the Nigerian Institution of Estate Surveyors and Valuers, it's the issue of indiscipline. When it concerns your own person, when it affects you, you want the rule to be bent. You want the game to be changed in order to favor you. And whoever is not ready to succumb to that pressure must be a very stubborn leader, must be a wicked leader. And so leadership is weakened by the pressure of the people they lead. Sometimes you are weakened to allow what should not be tolerated to be tolerated so that you won't answer them. So we as a professional body, and I think it's worse with us, because in NBA, there is a level of tolerance for indiscipline, which they cannot tolerate. Every day, people are being derobed in NBA. Their licenses are removed from practicing law. But in our institution, we must find a way around it. That way, bringing down the image of the institution. So I want to plead that this issue of discipline, we must also, abide by it. For me, it translates to what the ministers talked about, law and order. We have regulations. If you do this, don't do this. If you do that, this will happen. And then somebody will brazenly do it because of the connectivity or connections he has that will suppress leadership from following the due process. I want to plead with us. We are not helping our institution. We must all come together to say, no, enough is enough. And so that we can move this institution forward and make better impact in our society. Those are my few comments. Maybe we may not have opportunity to begin to debate them here, but I think in various fora in the next council year, these things we must bring to the front border. And for the younger generation, it's not wickedness on the elders or on the leaders to say, let's do things appropriately. It is in your own interest. You want to bequeath a profession that you will be proud of.